The crystalline spires of New Geneva Station stretched endlessly into the artificial sky, their surfaces reflecting the light of 3 distant suns. James Martinez adjusted his diplomatic collar one final time before stepping into the Grand Assembly Hall, where representatives from 47 different species had gathered for the Centennial Peace Accords. Lisa Chen, his cultural attaché, walked beside him, her tablet displaying the intricate seating arrangements. Remember, the Zephyrian delegation sits in the humidity-controlled Section 7. And whatever you do, don't make direct eye contact with the Vorthon ambassador. It's considered a challenge to combat in their culture. James nodded, his weathered hands clasped behind his back. At 62, he was one of the oldest human diplomats still active in interstellar relations, his silver hair and lined face a testament to decades spent bridging the gap between humanity and the cosmos. On his right ring finger, a simple band of white gold caught the ambient light, unremarkable to most but precious beyond measure to him. The assembly hall buzzed with the conversations of dozens of species. Translucent Etherians floated near the ceiling, their forms shimmering like aurora. The insectoid Cathera clicked and chittered in their mechanical harmony, while the plant-like Sylvani rustled their leaves in what James had learned was their equivalent of nervous laughter. "Ambassador Martinez," came a melodious voice from behind him. James turned to see Matriarch Veltara of the Elysian Concordat approaching. The elderly alien woman moved with the fluid grace characteristic of her people, her elongated limbs carrying her tall, willowy frame with dignity. Her skin held the pearl-like luminescence that marked advanced age among Elysians. She had to be at least 300 years old. "Matriarch Veltara," James inclined his head respectfully. "It's an honor to meet you. Your reputation for wisdom precedes you across the galaxy." The Elysian's large, opalescent eyes studied him with keen interest. Like all of her species, she possessed an almost supernatural ability to read emotional resonances, a trait that made them exceptional mediators but terrible poker players. "The honor is mine, Ambassador. Your species continues to fascinate us with your unique approach to diplomacy." She paused, her gaze falling to his hand. "That ring you wear, it emanates such powerful emotional resonance. Forgive my curiosity, but where did you acquire such a remarkable artifact?" Lisa glanced nervously between them. Elysians were known for their directness, but personal questions about jewelry seemed oddly specific. Around them, other delegates had begun to notice the conversation, their various forms of attention, eyes, sensors, electromagnetic fields turning toward the exchange. James looked down at the simple band, a soft smile crossing his weathered features. "This old thing? It's nothing special by galactic standards, Matriarch. No rare minerals, no exotic metals, just white gold from Earth. Yet it pulses with such profound emotional energy," Veltara insisted, her voice carrying the harmonic undertones that indicated deep confusion. "I sense love, loss, hope, and determination woven into its very essence. Surely it must be some form of human psychic amplifier or emotional storage device." Several nearby delegates moved closer, their curiosity piqued. The Zephyrian ambassador extended his sensory tendrils, while a group of scholarly Vorthons began recording the interaction with their biomechanical implants. James chuckled, the sound carrying clearly in the suddenly quiet section of the hall. "I'm afraid you give our technology too much credit, Matriarch. This ring isn't special because of what it's made of or any technology it contains." He held up his hand, letting the simple band catch the light. 43 years ago, I was a young man working as a structural engineer on Luna Colony. I met a woman there, another engineer named Sarah. She was brilliant, beautiful, and had the most infectious laugh in the entire solar system. The Elysian matriarch's eyes widened as she sensed the wave of memory and emotion that accompanied James's words. "We worked together for 2 years, building the foundations that would eventually support millions of human lives. Every day, we'd eat lunch together in the observation deck, looking out at Earth and dreaming about the future. About exploration, about the day humans might walk among the stars alongside other intelligent species. James's voice grew softer, but in the acoustically perfect hall, every word carried to the gathered delegates. I saved every credit I could, for months to buy this ring. Nothing fancy, just a simple band that I thought might convince her to spend the rest of her life with me. And did she accept? Veltara asked, her melodic voice barely above a whisper. She did. James's smile grew broader. We were married in the Luna Colony Chapel, with Earth hanging in the sky above us like a blue jewel. Sarah wore a matching band. The matriarch's opalescent skin began to shift colors, a sign of deep emotional response among her people. I sense great loss, Ambassador. What happened to her? The hall had grown remarkably quiet. Even the Kithara had ceased their clicking, their compound eyes focused on the human diplomat. Sarah died 15 years ago, James said simply. Cancer. Even with all our medical advances, sometimes the body just gives up. He looked down at the ring again. She made me promise to keep exploring, to keep building bridges between species, to never stop dreaming about the future we'd imagined. Together. Veltara's skin had shifted to a deep blue, the Elysian equivalent of profound sorrow and respect. So you wear the ring to remember her? I wear it, James said, looking directly into the matriarch's large eyes. Because every day, I wake up, I choose to love her again. Every diplomatic mission, every treaty negotiation, every moment I spend trying to bring species together in peace. It's all an extension of that promise I made 43 years ago on Luna. He gestured around the great hall, where representatives of dozens of worlds sat in relative harmony. Sarah never got to see first contact. She never got to witness humans taking their place in the galactic community. But every time I sit at a negotiation table, every time I help resolve a conflict between species, every time I see a human child playing with an alien child on some distant world, she's there with me. The silence that followed was profound. Veltara stood motionless for long moments, her skin cycling through colors James had never seen before. Remarkable, she finally whispered. We Elysians have technology that can preserve memories, devices that can store emotional imprints for millennia. We have crystals that can hold the essence of love itself. She looked at the simple ring with new understanding. But you humans, you carry such things in your hearts. You make the ordinary sacred through the simple act of choosing to love. James nodded. That's all any of us can do, really. Choose love. Choose hope. Choose to keep building something better than what came before. The matriarch's skin shifted to a warm golden hue, the Elysian expression of profound respect and admiration. Around them, other delegates began to murmur, in their various languages, and James caught fragments of translation. Remarkable species, emotional resilience, the power of simple devotion. As the formal ceremonies began and delegates took their seats, Veltara placed a long, graceful hand on James's shoulder. Thank you, Ambassador. You have given me much to contemplate about the nature of love and memory. Later, as the accords were signed and species after species committed to another century of peace, Lisa leaned over to James. I think you may have just redefined humanity's reputation in the galaxy. James smiled, unconsciously turning the ring around his finger. Sarah would have liked that. She always said humans were at their best when we were building something together. As the ceremony concluded and delegates began to mingle, James noticed something remarkable. Species that normally kept to their own groups were approaching each other, engaging in conversations about memory, love, and the artifacts they carried from their own lost companions. The simple story of a human ring had somehow opened a door to deeper understanding. In the end, James thought as he watched a Zephyrian diplomat show a Vorthan warrior a small crystal pendant, perhaps that was the most human thing of all, turning personal loss into universal connection, making the private sacred and finding ways to love that transcended the boundaries between worlds.